In a linebacker class that maybe isn't the strongest in comparison to recent years, many people have been searching for the guy. We thought it may have been one of the Clemson linebackers in Jeremiah Trotter or Barrett Carter. Oklahoma's Danny Stutman entered the race around the mid-season mark, but a lot of the top linebackers in the class decided to head back to school, which left us racing for who the top guy is. And ladies and gentlemen, it seems that there is a new consensus number one linebacker in the class who I think possesses some very high upside and some unique abilities, and that is Texas A&M linebacker Edgerrin Cooper, a player who exploded onto the scene after a dominant 2023 campaign, and is a guy who many people think could potentially hear his name called in the first round. How high does Edgerrin Cooper ultimately end up going? That is what we will be discussing in today's video. But hey guys, if you guys are new to the channel, consider hitting that like and subscribe button. This is going to be a very busy week with so many prospect spotlights coming out as we look into some of the players who are competing in the Senior Bowl. So stay tuned, and without further ado, let's get into it. Cooper has been pretty solid for Texas A&M over the last couple of seasons. In 2022, Cooper had 61 total tackles with 5 pass deflections, a forced fumble, and an interception. The numbers weren't crazy good, and he wasn't exactly a player who many thought was a top name in the draft class, but Cooper had an unbelievable season in 2023. He had 10 sacks on the season, which was 10 more than he had in 2022. He also had 83 tackles, 2 pass deflections, 2 forced fumbles, and he was absolutely everywhere and in complete command of the Aggies defense. Cooper is a pass rusher from the linebacker position. It is plain and simple. He showcased some really nice abilities as a blitz linebacker in 2023, and this has become one of the defining characteristics of his game. He had 27 quarterback pressures on the season with 5 hits and 10 sacks, as we mentioned earlier. He did an excellent job of pinning his ears back and getting into the backfield. He had excellent timing on his blitzes, and he showcased some elite upside as a blitz linebacker. He also did an excellent job of crashing against the run. Cooper has phenomenal quickness at the position, and he is a very good athlete. Whether it was crashing the box in run defense or rushing the passer, Cooper displayed some very elite athleticism with solid speed and a quick first step in order to make a play, which I really liked to see from him. He was awesome as a hitter as well, and he had excellent hit power. He hit with a lot of force, and he plays an extremely aggressive brand of football, which I love to see. Cooper also did a pretty solid job in coverage as well. He did a great job of dropping back, reading the quarterback's eyes, and reacting to the play as it was happening. He had quickness to line up with some tight ends or even receivers down the field, and as a whole, I think Cooper possesses a lot of the things that you love to see from an inside linebacker. He also has position, playing weak side, strong side, and middle linebacker throughout his career, and he offers some nice versatility. My biggest issue when it comes to Cooper's game was his change of direction ability. He seemed to really struggle when in space, and he didn't have elite flexibility or the ability to alter his direction. I think this is an area he definitely can improve upon, and I would like to see him fix that up a little bit. Cooper also has a pretty slim weight, weighing only 230 pounds at 6'3". I think he could bulk up a little bit, and being a little bit of a bigger linebacker never hurt anyone except the player you were tackling, so I think that could also get a little bit better for him. There really isn't much to not like with Edgerrin Cooper. He can play in coverage, he can tackle, he can blitz, he's an exceptional athlete. Cooper has everything you want to see from a linebacker prospect. When preparing for this video, I was honestly surprised at just how much I was sleeping on Cooper. For some reason in my initial notes, it said he was not a great pass rusher, and I'm not sure what I was missing, but Cooper made a significant jump up my board from my number 8 linebacker to my number 1 linebacker in the class. He's a beast and a guy who I think has some tremendous potential, and he is my number 43 player in the class. Cooper is great because he has experience playing really everywhere. He's played on the weak side and on the strong side, but I think as a weak side linebacker, dialed up as a blitzer from time to time, could be where he is best in the NFL. He can use his athleticism, get out in the flats, stop screens, protect against the run. I think he can do everything you need on that weak side of the ball. So I think that's where he is going to fit best in the NFL. Coming up with the comparison for Cooper was admittedly difficult, because there aren't a lot of weak side linebackers who can rush the passer like Cooper can. I decided to go with the guy who I think has a very similar build and plays a similar game in coverage and as a tackler, and that is Dre Greenlaw. Greenlaw is one of the most underappreciated linebackers in the game simply because he plays on the same team as Fred Warner. And like Cooper, they have a very similar build and they play on that weak side. Greenlaw isn't the pass rusher that Cooper is. I think that is something that teams are going to have to work around. I also think Haason Reddick is an interesting comparison. Reddick was a guy who started his career as a linebacker with both Arizona and Carolina, and they used him a lot as a blitz linebacker to rush the passer, who has been playing a lot on the edge in Philadelphia. Edgerrin Cooper to me is a mixture of both Dre Greenlaw and Haason Reddick in terms of size and play style. Edgerrin Cooper is a pass rush specialist. He can get to the quarterback, and he is a guy who is going to make some serious noise in the NFL if he gets to the right spot. I am a big fan of the versatility that he offers, and I think Edgerrin Cooper will be a top 50 pick in the 2024 NFL Draft.